Hello, punchers! So, I apologize. This is not a reaction video right now. I want to go back to my old setup, which requires that I have some headphones, and right now I only have wireless headphones. And so it's all, I was about to say effed up, screwed up, trying to keep this kid friendly. But so now I'm going to be talking instead about 3 movies I've seen in the last month that have made me cry, either from their beauty, their story, the message, or a combination of all of the above. And so first and foremost, and I hope you all have seen this movie, number 1, Moana. I mean, my God! Like, that is my favorite Disney movie I've seen in such a long time. I mean, I thought that I was going to be most excited to see Finding Dory this year, but friggin' Moana comes out of nowhere. Or how does Auli'i say it? Moana, or something like that. Or and Nicole Scherzinger, like Moana. But, oh my God, that movie is just gorgeous. The colors and the animation and the story and the message of finding who you are inside yourself. But above all that, as some of you know, I'm only part Filipino, but just watching that movie about the Pacific Islands, I felt so much pride. And just, literally watching that, I felt like I was freaking home. And that's when that song came on, like, We Know the Way. I mean, I was just thinking, like, my God, like, I just want to hop on a boat right now. I feel like I know the way and how far I'll go, you know. What's beyond that line? Will I cross that line? Like, I was like, oh my God. It was just all perfect. And the music is done in part by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I was just like, you have a freaking Pulitzer Prize winner, like, working on your music. I mean, I was like, it's amazing. You need to see that. And I hope it makes you cry too, like it did for me. I bet it will. The other one that has made me cry lately, another Asian-themed film, number 2, Kubo and the Two Strings. I mean, this movie was just phenomenal. It's completely different from Moana. It's like a kid movie. It's not completely different, but I mean the style. It's Claymation. It's from the studio Laika, the same studio that did Coraline, Paranorman, and a few others, but those are their most famous, I think. And this movie was also gorgeous, but in a different way, because like Moana is really pushing the technology, but Kubo is pushing the amount of love that someone is capable of putting into producing a movie. Because if the Claymation, every single frame, and remember, in a movie, each second, 24 frames per second, 1 second of footage is 24 different pictures. And so for every second of footage, they have to move the characters 24 times to make it look natural. That's why these movies take years to make, and Kubo is honestly the smoothest claymation film I've ever seen. It looks just like CGI. It's incredible. In fact, you almost wonder, like, if you had just a few more budget dollars, would it be more worth it just to do CGI? But I think that this organic quality really does. It's important for the film to make it feel physical and like it's actually happening, which is just remarkable. And I'm not going to spoil the movie, but Moana had me like shedding tears of almost like joy and pride and just sheer awe. Kubo had me shedding tears of just complete, it's like this weird sadness, but at the end you're like, you know what, I believe it'll all be okay. But there should at least be 2 parts where you at least get a sniffle. Otherwise, you're just a heartless monster. But, and finally, La La Land. I don't know what it was about it, and you know what? But I don't have to know, because La La Land got 14 Academy Award nominations, so they obviously did something right. Or they obviously did everything right. Rather. But my goodness, La La Land, at first I was kind of like, oh wow, this is really musical. much more than I thought. I thought it was going to be more of like a romantic comedy or a romantic dramedy, but it really took me by surprise. I was just shocked by how like intimate the experience was. It really does feel it's like it gives you that fly on the wall experience of watching a relationship between two struggling artists, but without making it feel like you're invading their space, and also without being boring. And I know some people might think that the movie was boring, and I admit the movie is not for everyone. I mean, but I don't think there is a movie that is universally for every single person on the planet. But I know that a lot of people have loved La La Land, and I hope you're one of them. There are some sequences that did make me almost like a little bit watery because of the just technical qualities of it and the cinematography. But there's one moment not quite at the end when you're just really feeling it for Emma Stone, and I was just kind of watering up for her. But then oddly I started watering up at the end, and because I figured out that a certain sequence, like right off the bat, I knew this one sequence wasn't what like some people in the audience thought it was, and I was just like, I'm like, oh my god, just it shook me. And anyway, the movie I think has something for everyone, honestly, because the acting is amazing, the cinematography is amazing, the direction is amazing, even the visual effects were like really good. And I mean, just go see it. The music was amazing. So those are the three movies that have made me cry recently for different reasons: Moana, Kubo and the Two Strings, and La La Land. All nominated for Oscars, I might add. I've got good taste. Punchers, I've got good taste. But I hope that you enjoy those movies as well.